During my family's trip to Sri Lanka earlier this year, we stayed at a bunch of hotels. Out of the lot, I felt like the Taro Villas and the Hilton Yala Resort were going to be special and stand out above the rest. Now, while those hotels didn't disappoint, there was an Underdog hotel during our trip that shone through and delivered an A+ experience. The hotel I'm talking about is the Marriott Weligama Resort. Like in our previous videos where we review hotels, we're going to break this down into a 5-point rating system. We're going to rate each of these parameters on a scale of 5 and then give the hotel an average rating. Let's start with the first parameter, which is the amenities at the hotel. And here I felt like the hotel punched way above its weight. And the reason I felt that is because most Marriott properties kind of feature as a mid-tier hotel within the Marriott portfolio of hotels, but this one turned out to be excellent. The lobby was large and airy, and you could look at the ocean as soon as you stepped into the lobby. The property had a large pool area facing the beach, and there was enough seating for everyone. The one thing I could complain about if I really had to was the noise in the pool area, because there was always some music playing. As soon as you step onto the beach, you could see a bunch of people standing right next to the hotel who could offer surfing lessons. Because the depth is pretty shallow around the beach area, the hotel has turned it into a beginner-friendly surfing lesson area. So you can see a bunch of surfers trying to learn how to surf. Personally, this was my first time trying to surf, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So much so that after doing it the first day, I went back again in the second day and tried again. The property had a decent-sized gym and a decent-sized spa. The dining area though was pretty spacious, and that's where they served the breakfast. They also had a rooftop bar, but for whatever reason, we never ended up going up there. There were some parts of the hotel that did show its age, like the carpet area, but for the most part, the amenities were really great, and I would give it a 4.5 out of 5. That brings us to the second parameter, and that's the room. As you enter the room, the restrooms are on the right-hand side. They have a decent-sized bathtub, a large vanity mirror, and then separate areas for the toilet as well as for the showers. The shampoo, the conditioner, and the shower gel were from the company called Oxygen. The one good thing about the room was that you could get unlimited amounts of water to drink, and as you stepped further ahead in the room, there was a small working area with 2 single beds. And the icing on the cake had to be the balcony which overlooked the ocean. All in all, the rooms for me was a 5 out of 5. Which brings us to the third parameter, which is the food at the hotel. And like I said before, the dining area was pretty big and the breakfast spread was humongous. You had everything from Asian food like egg noodles and black pepper chicken, to ice cream, cereals, to Sri Lankan food like hoppers as well as coconut roti, to Indian options like dosa. Even with those options that I just mentioned, I'm just scratching the surface of everything that was served during breakfast at the hotel. We would generally grab breakfast at about 9 a.m., which was peak time, but even with that, we didn't have any issues finding a table. And mind you, we were a family of 4. The quality of the food and the ingredients was absolutely fantastic, and even if you ordered something from the a la carte menu, the speed at which the food was delivered to your table made it feel even tastier. We got dinner one of the nights during our 2-day stay here, and the dinner was also fantastic. However, I would rank the breakfast slightly higher than the dinner. Overall, the food also gets a 5 out of 5. Which brings us to the fourth point, which is hospitality. And like the Hilton Yala Resort, this hotel really shone through in its hospitality. Like I mentioned during breakfast, the place was extremely crowded. But even with that, the service was lightning quick. Anything you ordered off the a la carte menu would arrive in no time. And it almost forced you to eat the food slightly quicker than you would have. We ended up taking a spa appointment for 3 of us during our stay at the hotel. And even the spa appointment was one of the best that I've had in the last 1 year. Overall, the attention to detail by every single staff member and the constant checking in by the hotel manager made this a really special stay. So the service gets a 5 out of 5 as well. That brings us to the last factor, which is the location of the property. We booked a beachfront property and got exactly that. This property was right in front of the beach. And as soon as you step out of the boundary of the hotel, you're by the beach. The only complaint I had was that because this was a beginner surfing area, there were a lot of surfers kind of testing the waters, if you will, figuratively and literally. And so every time you would manage to get up on the surfboard, there'd be someone crossing paths with you, and down you went. We also made a trip out to Gaul, which was about 45 minutes away, and this was also a good trip. We visited the fort, got some food to eat while we were out there, and even in and around the hotel area, there were a lot of eating options if you didn't want to eat at the hotel. One of the nights, we ended up going to the food mart right next to the hotel and ordered poke bowls, and that was great too. So overall, I would say the location was about a 4.5 out of 5. So if you did the average score across all 5 parameters, the average score turns out to 4.8, and that's why I believe that the Marriott Weligama Resort is an Underdog superstar. Let me know in the comments below what your experience was if you've been to the Marriott Weligama Resort, and I'll see you in the next one.